Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So 2024 is kind of a year of a circle skirt for me, and I thought recently, you know what, you made several dresses with circle skirts, you made a coat with a circle skirt, but you didn't make a circle skirt. So just the plain skirt, you know. And you can't really use the pattern from one of my dresses to make a circle skirt because that would be too much ease and you don't have a waistband. So I decided to tackle this and create a pattern for a quarter, half and full circle skirt. It's available on my website for free as always. And this is what I'm making. Here, my little assistant is showing you a full circle skirt, very voluminous. I can actually hide behind it. It has some pockets here in the inseams and it closes with a zipper here in the center back seam. So this is what I'm going to make, and I will show you how I made this. And yeah, follow me along if you're interested. But first I will show you how you can get the pattern. You can either follow the link below the video or you go to dressdeveloper.com, patterns. Here you have the circle skirt allium, create pattern. And here you can choose between the quarter, the half and the full circle. I'm going with the full circle. Then you can select a size or upload your measure set with your very own measurements. Also, you only need 3 measurements to create a skirt measure set. So if you want to try this out, it's very easy. So I set the skirt length to, and then I add some seam allowance. Paper format is fine for now. Then I can create the pattern. So the second link contains a cover with informations about your measurements and your pattern pieces. And here's a printing layout, so you know how you need to assemble all these pages. And I need to create this again. And now you have here the pattern itself, ready for printing. So before we start, a quick word about the pattern. You get 2 skirt pieces. They are practically identical, except for the seam allowance in the center. So you see the front is placed on the fold, so you don't need a seam allowance there. And the skirt back is cut in 2 pieces. So if you want to save a little bit of paper, you can actually print only one of these pieces and remember to add or subtract the seam allowance here in the center. So I have already cut my pieces here, and I have also prepped them by overcasting all edges, which will not be enclosed by the waistband or hemmed. So this left me basically the skirt side pieces and the center back, of course. So here's the front, and here are the 2 back pieces, like this. And I think I will begin by putting in the zipper in the back. So I have an invisible zipper here. Pretty long for this short skirt actually. But that is not a problem. So you see, with an invisible zipper you actually always need to buy it a bit longer than you need, because you cannot sew all the way down here, simply because you are sewing very close to the zipper teeth and you can't get past this point. So where is my right side? I think that's the right side. So I will install the invisible zipper in 3 steps. And the first step is actually to baste the center back seam. So I'm just gonna clip these together. And here is my zipper. I lay it here short of a seam allowance in the waist. And then here, as said before, I cannot sew past this, so I think I'm going to stop here, like this. And I will only baste this part, and so with a very long stitch length, and then I will backstitch and then shorten the stitch length and sew the rest just with a normal seam. And then I will check on in again. So here we have our back piece again. I will press open the seam allowance. Just using this folding tool. You can actually use your finger or press it with an iron. And I will now place my zipper teeth down onto the seam allowance, and I will pin it or clip it in place with the zipper teeth right above the center of the seam. So, like this, nice and centered. And I will only clip it to the seam allowance. This is actually a bit easier when you have a larger seam allowance. Mine is pretty short for this piece. But it's working. So, and now I will switch to a zipper foot on my machine, and I will simply baste the zipper in place only to the seam allowance. So I fold the rest of the skirt out of the way, and I will stitch only here in the seam allowance, not too close to the zipper teeth yet. I'm just basting the zipper in place. So one side, and then I will flip and do the other side. So the next step is to pop out the basting stitches again. And when I can basically repeat this step, I sew the zipper in place again, this time with the zipper opened, and my stitching is as close to the zipper teeth as I possibly can. And now we have our finished zipper. And now you can hardly see the zipper from the outside at all. This technique leaves you with a little bit of gaping here at the bottom. This can just be closed with a couple of hand stitches. Now, before I can close up the side seams, I need to finish preparing the pockets. So you see I have already overcast them. And now I will sew these all around, leaving the seam allowance here at the opening of a pocket open, so it basically can later be flipped this way. So both pockets prepared, and I can now close the side seam of the skirt. So I'm simply putting both pieces right on top of each other. The right side is facing each other. So, and now I need to mark where my pockets will go. So I usually install these a hand's width below the waist. Since this is half scale, I'm only doing basically half of my hand's width. And I'm marking here with these orange clips where the opening should sit. Same on the other side. So, and I can now go and sew the side seam, and here between the orange clips I will skip sewing. So I will sew, skip, sew, sew, skip, sew. And then I can later install the pockets here at the openings. So here I have my opening in the side. Let's press it open so you can see this. So here, side opening. And I will now take one of my pocket pieces and open the seam allowance up. And I will simply place this right on top of the opening and clip the seam allowance of the pocket to the seam allowance of the skirt. Like this. And this is how I will sew them in place. Just once here, seam allowance to seam allowance, and here again like this, seam allowance to seam allowance. So the pockets are in place. Here's the opening for your hands. Starting to look like a skirt. And now we need to install the waistband. So I have already prepped the waistband by ironing on some fusible interfacing. And you can't really see it, but I did press it in half and press the seam allowance from one side up. So yes, this waistband is pretty small. Think about that this is a half scale, so usually the waistband is twice the size. So I will now sew the short sides here and on the other side, and then I will flip the waistband inside out. Come on, like this. And then I will flip the waistband inside out, and I will see you again by installing it. Here we go. Waistband all prepped. And to install it, I will open the back zipper a bit. So, and now I will place it here and pin it all around. So I have pinned the waistband in place. So basically here's the side with a underfolded seam allowance is on top, and the side where the seam allowance sticks out gets pinned to the skirt all the way around. And make sure that on one side the waistband sticks out for about 3 centimeters or 1.5 centimeters here in half scale. So the waistband, you see it here better, is actually a bit longer on one side. And I will now take a zipper foot and sew a waistband in place all around. So to finish the waistband, I will do a couple of hand stitches. But first I will snip into the seam allowance here at the waist. So, at the inner circle of the skirt, which is of course a bit shorter than your waist measurements can stretch to fit. So, the wider your seam allowance, the more important this step gets. And now I will cut me some thread and grab me a sewing needle, a hand sewing needle. Like this. And I will now take my waistband and fold the seam allowance over or under, depends on how you see it. This is a bit fiddly with the small size. Don't worry, this is way easier when you're working in an actual human size. So the seam allowance of a waistband gets folded over, under, whatever, to enclose the raw edges here on the inside. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, I think so. I somehow ended with both sides of my waistband being a bit longer than the actual skirt opening. That's fine, not actually a problem at all. So, I have my hand sewing needle. And I will now bury the thread. Tie a little knot. And now I will just go and make a couple of whip stitches to make sure the waistband stays like this. You can of course simply sew a waistband from the with a sewing machine from the right side or from the left side, just as you please. Sewing with hand is just a little bit neater because you can see I'm only catching seam allowance, so the stitches will be invisible from the outside. So now the waistband is basically finished. I will just add here a snap in the back center so that the waistband can be closed. You can use a hook and bar if you want. I'm opting for a snap. So I hope this is the right side. And the matching piece about here. So the skirt is nearly finished. We only need to hem it. And I think the best way to hem a circle skirt is some bias tape. So I will fold the bias tape open and sew the seam allowance here to the right side of the skirt. And when I'm done, I will flip this to the inside like this and sew it down again And then I have all the raw edges here nicely enclosed by the bias tape onto the sewing machine. So here we have the finished skirt. We are all done. And there's nothing better for twirling than a full circle skirt. So this is actually a great pattern to show off some very nice fabrics. So imagine this being out of a sparkly fabric with all this movement, or a brocade, or a very nice pattern, or even lace. You can really make something gorgeous out of it, and it's so simple to make, but you can really make it a nice outfit for the upcoming holidays, for example. Yeah, with a sparkly fabric, nice. So I hope you enjoyed this little video and it was of some help. And if you make something out of my pattern, just show me on Instagram, tag me, I'd love to see it. And yeah, gosh, I cannot stop doing this. Yeah, where was I? Okay, back to the plan. I hope I will see you all in my next video. Up to then, bye bye.